The Arctic is no longer just a remote frozen region at the top of the world, but a rapidly emerging geopolitical battleground where global power, money, and influence are quietly being reshaped. And at the center of this shift is Russia, which has been aggressively expanding its presence across the Arctic by building military infrastructure, strengthening control over strategic shipping routes, and effectively seizing or restricting access to assets worth nearly $3 billion, creating a crisis that most people outside policy circles barely noticed. As climate change melts Arctic ice faster than ever before, vast reserves of oil, natural gas, rare earth minerals, and newly navigable sea routes are becoming accessible, transforming the Arctic into one of the most valuable regions on Earth and turning geography into power. Russia, which controls almost half of the Arctic coastline, has taken advantage of this moment by deploying advanced missile systems, reopening Soviet-era military bases, and expanding the world's largest fleet of nuclear-powered icebreakers, giving it the unique ability to operate year-round in waters that remain inaccessible to most Western nations. These icebreakers allow Russia to escort commercial vessels, regulate traffic, impose fees, and restrict access, effectively giving Moscow leverage over global trade routes that could shorten shipping times between Asia, Europe, and North America, reshaping international commerce. The $3 billion crisis emerges from Russia's moves to seize, freeze, or tightly regulate foreign-linked vessels, energy projects, and infrastructure operating in Arctic zones, particularly those tied to Western companies affected by sanctions, leaving billions of dollars worth of assets trapped in legal and political limbo, and setting a dangerous precedent for how economic power can be enforced through territorial dominance. The United States is increasingly alarmed by these developments because it lacks comparable Arctic readiness, with only a handful of icebreakers compared to Russia's dozens, limiting America's ability to patrol, respond, or assert influence in the region at the same speed. US officials worry that if Russia consolidates control over the Arctic, NATO access could be restricted, global energy security could weaken, and critical trade routes could gradually shift away from Western oversight, altering the balance of power without a single shot being fired. While Washington and its allies are now investing in new icebreaker fleets, Arctic defense strategies, and partnerships with other Arctic nations, catching up to Russia's current advantage will take years, during which Moscow continues to strengthen its position, knowing that control over the Arctic today may define global power, economic leverage, and strategic dominance for decades to come.